Mineski, here they are. They are ready to try hard every game. And it showed. I mean, as mentioned, they had a decent show against Team Liquid, especially in the first game they played. I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring here, because I feel like we've barely scratched the surface when it comes to Mineski.
I agree. I really want to see Mushi playing that more diverse heroes. I don't want to see the Medusa.
Oh, I was going to say, I really
honestly.
don't want to see the Medusa again.
If it's a good Medusa game,
want to see a Medusa.
fine. If it's like versus these illusion heroes, if it's versus something like that, fine. I mean, that could be the situation. But yeah, I want to see something different coming out from these guys, because they have the strength to play so many different heroes.
Yeah, no, not the Medusa.
Yeah, and I think Ninja Boogie and Jabs, they're incredibly good at doing what they do. They make the space, they rotate, they actually like have very successful rotations. But when you have a Medusa soaking up so much of that space, you really need to make so much happen. So I want to see Mushi on his more aggressive heroes, pretty much. That's
all.
Bread and butter of it, yeah.
You think that's a recipe to success? Because they do say they focus a lot on Ice Ice Ice. So Mushi is going to kind of be left alone a little bit.
Well, they said they focus on Ice 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 and the safe lane, rather than the mid lane. So
they still leave Mushi alone?
Yes. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
So what type of heroes would he...
Well, I guess that's maybe why they were picking the Juicer, because it is a hero that they want to leave alone, don't they?
Yeah, but I think
so.
I want to see him playing his spellcasting heroes. You know, his Puck, his Queen of Pain, these kind of heroes that he used to dominate on. The lane dominators, the ODs maybe, and if it calls for an OD, not just a random OD, of course. But I want to see Mushi playing those dominant heroes. We've seen him play in the past. Like, he's been one of the most versatile players at TIs when he has played there. So I really want to see him use his power.
He has a very deep hero pool, so he can. It's just a matter if it's going to get drafted for him, because a lot is decided in the draft. What we've seen over the last couple of days, especially when we saw that the first day was all 2-0s, guys. There was not a single third game series at all. Is it going to be decided in the draft here again? Like, is it going to be that heavy focus, you feel, or are these teams a little bit evenly matched in play style?
I think these teams are more even.
I think it may be sort of skill, but I think the playstyle is still quite different, I would say.
Yeah, playstyle is different.
Because we saw, I mean, we had like a weekend of the Chinese Dota Dream League, and we saw teams like VG. These guys, they just play so differently to the rest of the world. It just seems much more coordinated and sort of safe, and both teams sort of respect each other. You always see them hit their item timings. But I think that's definitely a within China thing. You know, when you have two Chinese teams, there's sort of like all these unwritten rules where everything's very neat, everything's very tidy. But when you come to an international platform, and as we saw yesterday, things really start to clash with the sort of play style that the teams like VG Gaming, teams like Newbie are used to playing on their home ground. And then coming to this place and playing up against a team like Mineski, who's, you could argue, is quite unpredictable if they don't pick Medusa again. Otherwise, I think if they pick Medusa again, I think VG Gaming will have a plan. But if Mineski can sort of bring some of their Mineski charm, their sort of just craziness, and just really revel on the power of Ice 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 and what he can bring to the game, I think they're going to have a pretty solid chance.
I want to see these dual lanes. I want to see LAN paired with Old 11. I want to see them do 2-1-2. I want to see that aggression coming out.
So you're saying, like, let Mushi and Ori just, do their thing and just have battles on the sides?
Maybe, we'll see the start, of course, be like a 2v2 kind of matchup in the mid lane, as we tend to see. But then afterwards, I want to see the two side lanes really get that help, because we'll see Ice get help, and then I want to see the response coming out so they can force a reaction, giving L11 that help.
Any heroes you're particularly looking forward to seeing then in this matchup?
I feel like we're going to see Kunkka. I know LAN has been playing it a lot.
Kunkka is legendary.
But other than that, I think we'll see, if Night Stalker's not banned out, we'll see Mineski playing it. Ninja Boogie had a pretty solid performance on it the last time I saw. Yeah.
Well, so far, we are in the draft, so it's time to see what these teams have in store for each other. Mineski starting with the Nature's Prophet ban, and we got the Night Stalker ban.
Yeah, I think you have to ban the Night Stalker. I think that's one of his best heroes.
One of the more predictable ones, indeed.
I mean, interesting as well, because a lot of times when people have been against like Ice 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 teams, it's not really unwritten to see just 5 Ice 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 bans. But
this is true.
Is VG going to ban out the Nyx Assassin? I think that's the next one for me. As for Mineski, okay, they ban out the Kunkka. All right, they don't want to deal with LAN's Kunkka. I mean, that's something.
They've been picking it so much for VG Gaming, haven't they? Even though the win rate wasn't too great when we've seen them in some of the qualifiers, but
so
they
love
to grab that
comfort heroes.
I like this.
It really is.
We were talking last night, like in winter, and we were just thinking, these jungle heroes are just so absurd right now. If a team can play Enchantress or Chen, I think that already plays to their strength right away.
Starting with the Venomancer.
Have we? I feel like we haven't had many Venos. It was
We
just
had a
Liquid.
couple, but not a lot of first pick Venoms.
Yeah, I think only Matu's played it, right?
Well, maybe you're right about that.
I think he played it versus Ice 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 that one game. He got kind of dominated. They ended up winning, but he was struggling for sure. And then the second game, I think he played it again.
Yeah, he definitely played
And
it
I
at least
don't
twice.
think I saw another Veno after that. I don't recall it, at least off the top of my head. Chief's got the notes though.
Yeah, but do I really want to go through all the games and look it up?
It's all right.
We saw a lot of Pugners. That's the one
We
that's been getting
do
through
see a lot of Pugners.
Yeah, Na'Vi were getting that like every game, weren't they?
Yeah, they love that.
That's
Vichi's a Pugna team too.
Is it a first to Pugna game?
I think they've opened with it before.
They have definitely opened with it, yeah.
They'll
At Dream
pick
League,
it
they
in the
picked
first-
it every game, right? We were like, wow, Vichi's just really on that Pugna train.
Pugna and Faces Void
Yes.
was the...
Yeah,
Void's been the big China.
With a lot of Chinese.
Yeah, a lot of the Chinese teams are just putting in that safe lane. Personally, I'm actually not too big of a fan of it lately. I feel like it's such like a slow-paced hero. You have to land those successful chronos. If you make like 1 or 2 mistake chronos, the game just looks extremely difficult. And we've been seeing that.
We saw that with Mugi.
Mugi, yeah, he had like 1 or 2 unfortunate chronos, and
oh, that's Vici
the
game.
game struggles.
Picking up the Slaughter.
Okay.
Something
been a
that pretty much none of the other teams would do, especially in the first phase. But we have seen it before from Vici Gaming.
They're on the dire side with Slardar, so that minus armor, they can go for those Roches eventually, but this is more so just a matchup for the roaming. I think that they're probably going to stay away from that Void then if they're picking up Slardar in the first 2. And they go for the Bane.
Again. We saw them do a few times.
You got a nice setup. Right, you got a setup for the crush.
Yeah, Nightmare Crush is great, yeah.
But it's a lot of single target.
It is a lot of single target already. But we have seen Bane. I mean, we haven't seen it picked, but we saw it getting favored a lot by some teams. It was getting banned out first 2 a lot of times in the recent times, but that's
a nice reaction.
Nice clockwork game already.
Really nice answer to both of those heroes. Makes it very hard for either of them to get stuff done. And Bane's very long cast animations. Slardar trying to be on the front lines. If you trap him in the cogs whilst he's sprinting, he's going to take a lot of damage.
Yeah, this is a really good pick versus both of them.
Yeah.
It's been a growing hero. We saw, Secret playing the clockwork, YapzOr playing, and the 4/4 stabs being brought out versus him, and he really suffered, of course, versus that. That'll tend to happen. Vici bans out the Brood as expected versus Ice Ice Ice, and I mean, with their these two support heroes already being grabbed up, they do not deal with Brood whatsoever.
You do feel like Slardar is going to be a support in this game, like the 4 position?
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think 11 would play it.
We saw that from the Chinese teams too a lot, right? Just picking out their first 2 supports right away, just revealing exactly what they've got going. Yeah. While Mineski has variety going right now. The Mirana is forced to be banned. They don't want to deal with the Bane-Mirana combo, of course.
That's very fair as well.
It's very good versus the Venomancer as well, as we've iterated before in the past. You can outrange the Venom wards.
But good against the Glock also. Very hard to trap her.
Can make a lot of burst damage come out too, and you can set up ganks nicely. If you had the Moonlight Shadow with Slardar Bane, definitely get pickoffs around the map.
I'm surprised we haven't seen the Nyx Assassin yet, not banned nor picked, because both teams favor it heavily. Mineski hasn't lost with it yet this season. 77.
Yeah, certainly a chance that Mineski could pick it still.
Yeah, I think they can still draft it.
Might be banned to though, we'll see. I mean, they take out the Brood, starting to look towards Ice Ice Ice's heroes. And they may just do that again with this 4th ban. Starting to try and limit and control Ice Ice Ice's options, which is very hard to do, of course, with the amount of heroes that he's very, very good at.
You see LAN and Mikasa. Seems like they're the only 2 really discussing the draft. I don't see the other players really pitching in too much. Taking out the AA. That AA Veno combo that we've seen in the past, just making that lethal damage.
Yeah, I mean, an AA clock as well.
Team fight.
Super great, isn't it? Those global mid-game pickoffs. Hook shot and an Ice Blast easily kills these 2 supports, and maybe the rest of the lineup that Vici Gaming is going to be picking.
Wondering what the Vici wants to if they're banning out that AA. If there's something in particular they're thinking about. Response that we've seen in the past a lot versus the Venomancer is the AM, so we could see that maybe be coming out for Vici. Paparazzi being one of the big AM players. Not already, you can see there's not really a crazy amount of lockdown coming out from Mineski, Clock Veno.
But you know that there's going to be heavy focus on that offlane. Do you really want to play an AM when you know that offlane is going to be pressured? Or your safe lane, that is?
I mean, yeah, it could be.
It's just such a good matchup in the overall game, right? Even if the lane isn't the best, you at least have Bane. Bane's one of the stronger kind of laning heroes, and in the nature of the game, it'll be just a great matchup versus Venomancer.
And against the right off lane, a Chilling Touch can still be an absolute nightmare to lane against, especially if you've got a couple of ranged heroes in that lane with you on the safe lane. Yeah, Mineski, I wonder what they do ban, maybe. As you said, looking towards the the AN as well. They sort of do, they take the Necro out. That AA ban could have set up for a very nice and easy Necro game, and Mineski quick to make sure that Vici Gaming don't get that opportunity.
Yeah, Vici does really like that hero. They could still go for the Pugna here for Vici. I think that's maybe what they were setting up here with the AA ban, either the Necro or the Pugna.
Yeah, they could have said, we'll take whichever one they don't ban.
Yeah.
Looks like VG Gamer has some very stern discussions about this draft.
It's an important game.
I love watching this. This is great, actually.
Yeah.
I wish I could like lip read and understand LAN. Oh god, this guy's a legend.
How good you Chinese?
I have to learn Chinese, of course. But yeah.
And the importance of a coach.
They go for the Death Prophet. That's a similar kind of hero concept with like the Pugna, the Necro.
Yeah, and one that you don't really want to have to deal with an Ice Blast.
Yes,
when you're trying to get that heal from that ult.
And this is really nice for them to go for those Roches as well. The amplify damage plus the Death Prophet ulti. They have a crazy amount of physical coming between these Slaughter Death Prophet combo.
Yeah, melts some of these heroes. And it's never to be underestimated as well. The power of that silence of Death Prophet in these team fights as well. If you get that onto the Venom, it's an incredible duration, an incredible area. It can just absolutely put a stop to anything, or any sort of the chaos that we talked about that Mineski may try and bring against Vici's lineup. So yeah, I'm liking the and it's got a pretty insane win rate in China, hasn't it? These Chinese teams, compared to the rest of the world, they're the best with Death Prophet.
This is where I might be thinking that Mineski's looking at the Nyx Assassin now. Very good versus the Death Prophet.
And it's a Visage, though.
Visage. Very good hero, being able to stop the Fiend's grip from a distance with the birds and giving them that physical and giving them that heavy burst damage too. This is a hero that we've been seeing rise complexity running in the safe lane. Just very potent.
Again, something that can add to those movements of the clockwork as well once that hook shot's online, just microing the familiars, having that extra bit of punch when he gets a catch.
They've got a lot of damage already in the team fights from Mineski. If like the Veno ult hits, Visage will always have full soul assumptions to throw out in those fights.
The 11 Tide, and definitely a hero that I'm much happier to see 11 on than the Monkey King. This is something that's, I think you can certainly rely on 11. He should, he's not going to die 12 times this game.
So painful.
I say that now, we will wait to see.
Painful versus the Veno.
He shouldn't die 12 times this game.
Because Tidehunter does not remove the Gale with the Kraken Shell. So the Gale is actually pretty devastating versus Tidehunter in the laning phase.
And the wards are tricky if you want to try and blink Ravage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blink's going to be hard to...
You can see the idea, though, that Vici's already going for here. They have massive amount of team fight. They have good, decent minus armor with Gush, with Amplify damage. If they are able to focus fire targets with the Death Prophet ultimate, they will die very quickly.
They have a strong amount of push. They can just 5 man up, and they just roll down mid or whichever lane they choose.
Looks like that's what they're trying to go for.
I like that as well. I think.
How are you going to stop that if you're Mineski? What do? You got the birds from the Visage. That's actually pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, already it's not terrible for
decent
Mineski.
here.
Yeah.
Tinker, that's a way to stop pushes.
I feel that's a risky one. Because if Vici Gaming do start to push it, and especially, I mean, Tinker against the Death Prophet, there's that part of the game. If she waltzes in with the ult and the silence, it can be very and it's so much single target and catch as well. I think it could be a tough game for the Tinker.
I think Mineski's looking to stall the game out.
I mean, that's
they're going to have Visage Birds with Boots of Travel, so they're going to be able to gank globally. We were talking about the AA with the Clockwork. They can set up ganks all over the place now with those familiars, with the Clockwork.
But they can only do that later on in the game. And as Ron said, I'm not sure, because we already mentioned they're going to focus on it off lane, they're going to focus on it safe lane. Tinker's probably going to be mid. How is he going to have a decent lane against a Death Prophet without that much help?
I think it could be tough right at the laning stage, because, I mean, DP, sure, the laser slows down some of the CS, but she's a hero that can rely on her skills on the Crypt Swarm to pick up the farm. It's unlikely that the team can totally harass her. We'll see how much focus. Obviously, it's probably not going to be a 1v1 in the mid lane, as we very rarely see those. So depends which heroes both sides throw towards the mid lane to help out. But I think, that's definitely going to be the lane to watch. Because if Vici Gaming can get on top of the Tinker early and make sure that they're able to start pushing when there's Tinker. You know, he's only sitting on one, even 2 items. It's very hard for him to keep that March spam up.
I think we really expected that AM ban, especially with the Tinker pick.
Yeah.
Venomancer, Tinker, there's like really little lockdown on Mineski. It's only the Visage Bird stuns, which are a little bit more reliable, but Tinker, I think, is the important thing too, is with Tinker versus Death Prophet, is you have that burst. You always need burst heroes versus Death Prophet to bring her down. If you get her just brought out of position with the clockwork, Tinker comes in, can clean it up.
I mean, if you're talking about the burst, could they themselves slip a Pugna into this lineup? Or would it not really fit?
Really depends how they want to do their roles. I think they could. I mean, we've seen it played in the offlane.
Disruptor.
I think, yeah, okay.
Still mention it.
Yeah, I mentioned it because versus Tidehunter, it's just the best hero in the game versus or best support in the game.
I mean, it's great. I mean, all of these heroes, Bane and Slardar have a pretty tough time against this Disruptor as well. Being able to peel the Slardar off your teammates. Again, another hero that makes it incredibly hard for Bane to really do anything in the team fights.
And you know Vici wants to group up and take some towers, so you know if Vici does take a tower, let's say, and then they start running away, that's where Disruptor thrives. You can just get the glimpse back, isolate people, really get the pick off.
But they have a lot of squishy heroes. Like there's not really a forefronter.
There's no front hero. Well, it's a clockwork front hero for the Mineski.
Maybe I mean, could perhaps just bring out like the Lifestealer, so they can go for those Lifestealer Slardar ganks. If you jump on any of these, they'll die.
They go for the Storm.
So they are running.
Safe
lane
Storm.
Safe lane Storm. All right.
That's a Safe Lane Storm. That's a paparazzi Storm.
You said yourself, didn't you? We've seen Vici Gaming do stuff with their drafts that's a little bit different, but they normally do have good reasons for it. But yeah,
they want the catch for the Tinker.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing. They had no hero that can actually find the Tinker in the trees. Storm is that gives them that possibility.
Have to be a little careful with the Disruptor though. But I'm excited to see this. Death Prophet on Storm on the same team. I can't remember the last time we've seen that. You know, both of those cores being picked in the same lineup. That's quite something different.
So who is going to take this first game?
I like what Mineski's got if they can take the game late.
Yeah?
Yep.
Take the game late? That's a tough act to do.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I've got to go with Mineski as well.
Yeah?
I think I was a little unsure about the Tinker, but with the Disruptor picked up, it's going to be so hard for a lot of Vici Gaming's heroes to actually play Dota this game.
Yeah.
So I think Mineski could crush it. Yeah.
All right, we got Mineski fans here on the panel. Vici Gaming, do you guys think they have what it takes? It is Gods and Winter that I'm asking that to. Hello.
Hello, probably asking the wrong people. To SCA Dota enthusiasts here, as we're going to be taking you into Mineski versus Vici Gaming. Elimination at store. Winter, you know this Mineski team very well. What do you make of their chances here? Do you like their draft? Do you like what they prepared for this series?
Pretty solid. They have good lanes and they have a lot of wave clear. Like against mass team fight, the DP and the Tide long cooldown team fight spells, you want to have like wave clear, waste their time. Make sure that they don't get to your towers easily. Veno, Tinker are heroes that can do this really, really well.
Cool. On the other side, we've got Vici Gaming sporting a carry Storm Spirit of all heroes.
Yeah.
Something you just don't really see. We had like a period maybe a couple years ago where like Envy was playing in the safe lane for a little bit, but typically a hero that's only seen as the mid lane. So what do Vici Gaming want to do here to succeed with their draft?
It's actually a carry DP though.
Okay.
Not a carry Storm. I mean, the Storm is just picked so that they have a hero that can kill the Tinker. Find him and kill him. Not something you see too often, like a Storm plus DP dual core.
Is it going to be enough? Like, is there more to it than just having?
I mean, I can still see them finding a way to win the game if they win some team fights with the DP and Tide, and Storm gets really, really fat. He can roll over what Mineski have. Definitely possible.
Okay.
Like both the teams have very, very different ideas on how to play the game, different approaches.
Yeah, we've got some interesting picks for sure here, as both teams very much deviating from what we've seen throughout this tournament. The Bane Slardar opener for Vici Gaming. We had an Ice Visage, player known for his micro skills, going to be playing a hero we've seen in a lot of different roles over the last couple of months, but not much in the offlane.
Oh, Tide. It's going to take a lot of damage here.
Could be an early first blood with the damage they're pushing out here, but 11.
He should be fine though. He has Kraken. He took Kraken, and he has a Self.
Yeah, they won't get another.
It's really good for him in the lane now because Disruptor actually committed to the glimpse for that to happen. So there won't be any Thunderstrike or Kinetic Field to try and kill him in the lane.
It's true, but that's also like, you look at the damage they did because of the glimpse, it probably matches how much they have done with Thunderstrike in some ways.
But then, for me, like I play offlane, Tide a lot. If this happens to me, I'm actually quite happy with it,
sure.
to be frank.
Okay. Well, we'll see if he can take advantage of that. 11, definitely a player who struggled in the offlane a couple days ago. giving away a lot of deaths here. We will see Slada camping out this mid lane, hoping for a courier to walk by. Looks like Mineski will be very disciplined for now with that courier usage.
Yep, they don't see the support on the map. Like, it's very common nowadays for people trying to snipe courier, even with melee heroes. Like, I think yesterday we saw like a Earthshaker sniping a courier.
Yep.
I think that was from SG Sports. So definitely something that you should always look out in the early game. The courier, when you don't see the supports, you have to pay attention to the courier.
Yeah, he walks all the way back to the tier 2 tower just to pick it up, knowing that a smoked up Slada could theoretically have been waiting to snipe it.
So Jebs has been helping the top lane earlier with the cogs. Like, off lane Visage is like, you don't want to have him run into too much problems in the early game. You want to give him some help, let him get some levels.
Yep. Yeah, getting those early levels is the big thing, because Visage, lower magic resistance, 0 base armor. This is a hero at level 1 who is incredibly weak and really needs that help to get the experience.
Yeah,
so.
probably one of the weakest level 1 offlaners that I have seen. Pretty much he has what he needs now, I believe. He has level 2, almost has his boots after he picks up the bounty rune. 2-minute rune gonna be bottom. Jeb scouts the top rune. Won't find any rune, but his team is gonna know the rune is at bot.
Mushi doing a lot of damage on the Tide again, but this is a decent creep wave pushing Tide Hunter's way. So as you kind of mentioned, Tide probably okay with how things are going here, considering experience and farm are coming his way.
Level 3 though, he should have level 3 after this. I would be pretty happy if I'm the Tide here. And so is Ice. Ice is also getting a lot of levels, and he got some farm as well.
Yep.
Overall lane situation, I think Mineski are pretty happy with their 3 lanes right now.
Yep. See the Death Prophet push forward against the Visage, but Spirit Siphon being used does perhaps deplete a necessary charge if you want to go for this kill.
Lamb is coming from behind here.
Yeah. The cogs there going to help protect them, stop the Bane from chasing forward, and it does look like Mineski will not give away any kills here in this top lane.
They have boots on Ice already, so it's a lot harder for him to die with the boots plus Grave Chill.
I imagine I don't even know if the Death Prophet had a Spirit Siphon there because he used it earlier, so...
But what's happening right now is Mineski is holding the tri-lane against VG with only 2 heroes.
Look at the CS though. Storm Spirit is crushing Tinker in mid lane.
Wow.
That is perhaps a bit unexpected, that it's this big of a difference in CS.
I guess he was a little pressure when the Slada was, like, small things like that affect the lane a lot. Like the Slada was missing for some time, and he was really scared of sending his item out the south. And I guess it somehow affected the lane.
Okay. Because
generally, I think Tinker should have an advantage over Storm.
Yeah. Tinker does very well in a lot of 1v1s, but we are seeing Storm doing fantastic here. It is Paparazzi, one of the best mechanical 1v1 mid players in the world. And
yeah, it's funny you say that. He's actually not even a mid laner.
Yeah, but he's not a mid laner, but the point still stands. You win a 1v1 tournament against the world's best, and I think you can claim that. Perhaps his skills are more suited to the carry role, is obviously what his team and other teams have decided. Yeah, his playstyle. Even if he is a good 1v1er, the hero is his playstyle. He wants to be on the carry role. But yeah, Visage continuing to get good experience and farm in the top lane. Definitely something to look out for. But it is a slight edge to Vici Gaming in terms of the overall CS coming out of the laning stage. We'll see where Tinker looks to go for now. 3 points in laser, so hasn't committed to any March of the Machines or missiles yet. Do imagine we'll just see a typical March build here, unless he really thinks he can get a kill with the missiles.
Jabs?
Yeah, looking for that kill. Clockwork does get bested by the initial Slider crush, but Paparazzi getting glimpsed back in. I believe he should go down. He one more right click. First blood goes the way of Jabs on the Clockwork.
Yep, well done. Very well done there by Mineski. The 2 supports connecting to a same location with the TP and 1 roaming from behind. Getting the kill. And I think Jebs wanted to kill the Slada, and they actually glimpsed the Storm because they realized they could have actually gotten a bigger kill, so that was a great decision there by Mineski.
Yeah, he initially goes in looking for the Storm, but the Slada crush stopped him getting the Storm in the cogs or a battery assault, so good TP from Disruptor, and yeah, Mineski first on the board here. Yep. Helping secure this mid lane, a hero that you want to get a fast boot to travel on. Definitely don't want to see Tinker get pressured too much, so even though he's losing these CS, this does secure him a bit of a lead in this mid lane.
I was kind of expecting a quiet game. Their heroes require a lot of levels, so they're going to glimpse 11. Does he have a TP?
Does not look like it. He's going to go for the Inca Smash instead, and it looks like they should be able to right-click him down. The Kraken may proc, but The chase is definitely on, and LAN coming in. Can he save 11? He's going to be a fraction too late. The Shrine was there waiting, and Mushi going to drop the ultimate. This is going to be 2 kills going the way of Mineski. Mushi with a double. What a start.
Yep.
For the SEA.
Very good rotation there by the supports of Mineski, creating 3 kills already in the early game, putting a lot of pressure on VG. Next thing that they want is obviously the bots. I think the next 2 important things is the bots and the levels on the supports. Okay. So at some point the Tinker is going to go into the jungle, clear some stacks. Do they have any stacks? I mean, they have some stacks, not a lot. But they're going to have to get levels on the 2 supports. They 2 need their level 6, and Tinker his boost of travel. Once they get all those online, they're going to be really strong. That's their super power strike, power spike. And with the Visage, the familiars as well, they're going to be very strong at that time. Vici won't be as strong as them for sure at that time.
The part I really like with the Veno and Tinker together is they can just push a lane using the Veno wards as 4 heroes, and Tinker can defend and push out the other waves.
He has no TP though.
Does have friends smoked up coming
they
down
realize,
to him.
They realize something is happening, so they don't want to dive. They immediately use a scan, but they're waiting on the other side.
Not the biggest kill. It will just be a disruptor. Mike, Ninja Boogie, no way out there.
Oh, Tide is he's still getting poked by Mushi here.
And Mushi kiting him around, trying to stay away from the anchor smash here, popping the salve, trying to heal himself back up, gets the poisoning out. 11 is still going for this one. Hits him with an anchor smash here. Mushi trying to just juke his way out of this one, but with Fenrir showing up, no
TPs? One is TPing.
Mushi stunned up, does not have a good escape here. The Ravage even coming out to make sure 11 does not go down.
Oh, that was rather strange though. After Mike died on the side to the left, I thought Mushi would actually just get out, but he tried to kill the Tide.
Here, Jabs walks into the danger zone and he gets picked off. That was a bit of a mistake from him. There was a dire ward scouting his rotation. But
yeah, they have 2 really good wards around the area, so they see everything. I mean, Mineski were late to put their wards down, so like whoever sees the enemy first is going to get the upper hand because of the information they get. So very bad sequence of events here happening for Mineski. Really good for BG. So they're going to somewhat help the Tide a lot in the start. He was suffering, so that rotation will get 11 back on track. He has his soaring and talent, iron talent, so he'll be fine for now.
Yep. See what Mineski can get out of this smoke. Imagine the ward is probably the key element here. No pickoffs really available. Still very low level on these supports. No ultimates yet. No hook. No static storm.
Still, it was a bad exchange the last minute, so they felt like they wanted to get something in return. You know, they knew Avicii made a smoke move, but right now I think the more important thing is how they're gonna give a lane to the disruptor or the clock to get their levels. Like one of the cores has to, like either the Veno or Tinker can go jungle and just leave the lane. They both need levels right now. It's really crucial for them. The familiars are up, so Ice on the offlane is having a good time here.
Oh yeah, this is where Visage gets pretty scary. You can send those birds around the map. You don't even have to have the hero, and he's going to be probably the main player that's going to pose like the kill threat at this point. So
yep, him and the boots of travel on the Tinker with the familiars.
How close is Tinker to the boots?
Not that close, like 1k away,
okay.
1.2k away.
There's still a bit of breathing room for Vici Gaming, although they're using that breathing room mostly to farm now. They haven't got Ravage, so with good reason. Storm's also in the jungle. Wants to just get some more levels and farm himself, and we'll see.
Yep, so now Veno is going to start to jungle, I presume. Like, they really need to clear a lane for the supports to get levels. Someone has to go jungle. I think Tinker's jungling as well. And they're going to send the Veno top because VG are trying to pressure with the Exorcism on Ori.
Yep. And there is a rotation coming in from LAN. Mineski may need some additional TPs here. Are they going to go for the kill here? Fenrir gets stunned once, stunned twice. The Gale is there as well, and Fenrir trying to TP his way out. May actually make this one. There's no more stuns available.
Wow, what a play. What a play.
Not bad. Once he used the 2 stuns on the birds, it was
and
free escape.
And none of the supports teleported in as well because they thought the Bane was for sure dead. Yep. So right now, Jabs is taking the bot lane to recover on his levels. The Tomb, who is going to get the Tomb? I guess you give it to the Disruptor since he's closer to 6 and maybe he can make a play.
Yeah. Courier's going out to him, so that looks to be the case. Top tower now being chipped away at and pressured by Mineski as Mushi has arrived. Just level 3 Plague Wards, but should be enough to at least apply some good pressure up here as he does level up now too.
Yep.
And We will see this tower being very difficult to defend. Both Visage and Venom hard heroes to go on. TP's coming in, Nightmare on one, Grip on the other. Here comes the Stormpede TP as well. He's going to go in with the Ravage. It's two. The Remnant going to secure the second, and Mineski too deep with 2 heroes. If you're going to go that far in, you need backup, and they get punished heavily.
Oh, and they missed the kill in mid lane as well. He didn't get the feel.
What is the idea there? They're behind the tier 1 tower, and perhaps they don't think Bane's level 6 is probably a big part of that.
But still, they had Ravage though, so that was definitely a dangerous play. They were like trying to create space because they have to allow the clock and the disruptor to catch up and do something. Perhaps a little too desperate in doing that. Like they forced the issue too much.
The bottom tier 1 tower went down as well.
Yeah, this is really, really bad for Mineski. Like super bad right now. High Ravage is down. DP ultimate is still up. They have the bots though, so that's one thing going good for them right now. Bots up. Clockwork still not level 6. This is a big issue for them.
The Tinker Visage is pretty scary as well. Something we used to see maybe with Beastmaster a bit, but similar idea. You can use the boot to travel on the summon. So Visage goes ganking, you TP on the birds.
Smoke on smoke. Nope.
Tinker, here he goes, coming in onto the birds with the boot to travel. Doesn't get the initial kill on LAN, and the Nightmare does help bail him out. And Vici Gaming with 4 heroes here. They drop the Death Prophet ultimate here, and they are chasing down Mineski, looking for kills here. They're going to have to probably pop a Shrine here to keep themselves alive. 11. Ooh. Bit of a pause. There's a DC coming out from Ninja Boogie. That's a potentially key hero if they want to get kills.
Anyway.
Yeah. Does he have Glimpse to catch anyone else?
Yes, but I think he's too far away from.
Yeah, just level 3. So.
Maybe if Mushi goes, maybe if Mushi runs in, he gills. Oh, actually maybe if Mushi gets a gill, but I guess he's too far. Nah, I don't think they can get either the Bane or the DP.
Okay.
Not sure, but I don't think they'll get.
We'll see as things develop here. Quick reconnect coming from Ninja Boogie as the teams get a little breather here, as we will be getting things back underway in just a second. Both teams are ready to go, so Mineski will get the better of this fight. That was a Death Prophet ultimate as well.
Yep, they should try to pressure towers. Tide ulti still down.
Yep.
DP ulti down, so this is the time where Mineski should make the most out of it. They're building a Midas on the Visage. He has a Medallion and he seems to be going to go for a Midas next. Mushi's going for a Hood. Okay, so they still have the Disruptor ultimate. Let's see if they can get another tower here, since DP ulti is still down for a long time.
I've sent Clockwork bottom, so perhaps with him missing, they're going to opt towards not going for it. But Jabs does have a TP if he wants to join up with his team.
Yeah, they have to be much better with the movements around the map, how they pressure. They can't let something like overcommitting like the previous case when they were pushing the top lane to happen again. They can't give away too much. If they give away too much, the DP, Tide, Storm,
Trio. Oh, Mushi. They're giving away something here with this Fiend's Grip. It's going to be a catch onto the Venomancer.
Oh, that is really, really bad though. Yep. That's a good ward there by Vici. They were able to see that, oh, this guy most likely alone or only ice behind him. So, and they had the numbers there. Yep. And the ward of Mineski doesn't really see the Bane's movements there or the Slala. So it was not deep enough.
Yeah. They even got the 2 Revenant kills, so the Visage losing his 2 birds, meaning an extra couple hundred gold going the way of the Storm Spirit. Definitely not the cleanest game from Mineski.
Things are not looking good now for them, Parker.
Yeah, they still have this Tinker, and yeah, Storm is very fun and is one of the better counters to Tinker, but if Nana can get online with his Blink Dagger soon, it could prove to be very difficult to deal with.
No, it's quite hard though, I think, for Tinker. If the Storm is too far ahead, it's really difficult for Tinker. They need to be able to kill the Storm like in the near future. Like, set up a hook shot into the Static Storm, get a pick off. They have to win a fight, get a tower. If the Storm gets too far ahead, it's going to be very hard for Nana. They use a scan here, they run up the high ground, they have the hook shot.
They saw the scan was red when they first used it too, so they know a hero is nearby. They run into Bane, Fenrir first. They also see 11 here. What's the play? He misses the hook shot. Oh no, Jabs. He winded up a couple times. They're trying to go on the tide with the Disruptor. Can they burst him down in time? He will get the Ravage off. Catches out 4. big Ravage from 11. The Birds are going to drop Chain Stun. 3 heroes on the VG Gaming side. 11 ticking down to the Venomancer. It looks like this fight could go Mineski's way. They need the Tinker for some extra damage. Storm is showing up though, taking out the Clockwork, and no one on VG Gaming has died. The Tide survived the Venomancer damage over time. The Bane is getting very low. He will end up ticking down, but it's not quite the result Mineski were hoping for. It still is okay.
It was not a disaster.
Ravage was used.
Yep, that was okay for them. They traded 1-for-1 support and they got the tower, Ravage down. They did use the Banner ultimate though. But I think all in all, Mineski is just a sigh of relief that it didn't go worse than that. Because the Tide got a big Ravage off.
It very much looked like it could go better with this initial setup. They couldn't quite kill the Tides.
They didn't go on the same target though. Jebs tried to hook. He actually tried to hook the Bane. He missed.
Yeah.
And the Disruptor caught the Tide. I think if they immediately use hook, cogs, battery assault, everything on the Tide, because the Tide had a Hood of Defiance. Yeah. The Tide would have actually just gone down without being able to drop the Ravage. And everything would feel better, you know, when you're taking the tower. When you see that, you actually get nervous.
It's definitely one of those fights where it felt like Tinker could have almost cleaned up. He doesn't have his Blink Dagger yet, though, so he doesn't have that bit of extra mobility, so...
But it's worrisome to see that, though. It somewhat tells the audience, or like it tells us that Mineski is nervous, they're not on the same page. Everything not going well in the last maybe 5 minutes, 6 minutes. They have to get their teamwork back on track.
Slider with a 4-staff now for VG Gaming, not opting for the Blink because of the Clockwork on Mineski's side.
And the Vano and the Tinker. It's very hard to get your Blink off, to be frank. 4-staff is really good against the clock.
Absolutely.
So right now, what has Mineski gotten? They got a dagger on Tinker. Vano has a Dragon Lance. Visage is almost getting its Midas. Clockwork's getting another Midas, so they'll have 2 Midas.
So they're maybe playing more of the late game farming oriented play. Oh, Ice is being caught. He does not have the birds. He just used them for some farming, and that is Bloodstone charges going Storm Spirit's way. Fenrir may pay for this, but this is well worth his life.
Yep, that was worth, for sure.
A Bloodstone charge, a kill on a core hero.
The ward there scouting Ice out. So once again, the ward's playing a big part here in VG's rotation. Twice already, getting them very big pickoffs. The first one was on Vano in the top lane, and the second one here on Ice.
Okay.
That's why you hear the saying, Vision wins games. 2 big pickoffs.
I didn't hear that saying until now, Winter. But thank you.
Don't lie, Parker, don't lie.
I'll quote you on that.
You're the guy who should be always buying boards, you know.
Yeah. No one else does, so someone's got to.
So right now, they're just kind of waiting for their Midas to come online and try to wave clear, push out, and try to find a good pickoff. Whereas VG is feeling much stronger now with the engage, like the team fight engage, with the Tide, the DP, the Storms, Bloodstone. Mineski has to pick their next fight very wisely. I think if they lose one fight, like one full skill engage, I think the game is just going to ball out of control and the Storm will just keep picking them off.
One bad fight and suddenly Storm has got 16, 17, 18 Bloodstone charges and another big item, and that's where Tinker gets completely destroyed.
Yeah,
so.
They have to try and use the Static Storm to kill, try to kill Paparazzi once or twice. Like one time would be really good.
He's got a regen room for the next team fight, which is a very dangerous prospect as well.
So they're camping behind Wushi here. They're trying to bait him out.
Yep.
They might find Fenrir here.
Yeah, they're right next to him here. Ice.
Don't think they'll see him though. Don't
Probably
think they'll
smell him if he opened up his nostrils.
They're pretty much trying to bait Mushi here. Mushi has a hood, power threats, strength threats, Dragon Lance, really tanky.
Fenrir breathes a sigh of relief, perhaps, although even he did not know quite where those heroes were.
They're trying to set up here.
Yep.
Tide is pretty tanky with a hood.
This could be a very dangerous position for Bane to be in. It's so hard to get a good grip off when you're versing things like Familiars, so being able to come in from the backlines, Nightmare one hero, grip another, could be fantastic for him, but
this is good for Vichy right now. They're holding the tower and Storm is pushing out top lane, so Mineski has to force the tower ASAP. Otherwise the Storm will be getting way too much on the other side.
Fenrir even gets the ward down to potentially set up a good team fight for them here. The Storm's going to continue to push out this top lane, does have a regen rune if he wants to come to this fight, but looks like VG Gaming decide a bit too difficult to defend, too many wards.
Oh, they find 11.
And they get the kill on him. Static Storm could be used for this one. They're going to go for it. The hook shot there as well, trying to lock him down. He can't get out just yet. Will the hood save him? Does not look like it.
They did it this time, all on the same hero.
Yeah, and on the big hero, the Tide. Take that ultimate out. Death Prophet has to cancel the TP as well. Does not want to go into the entire Mineski squad. They may have used 2 ultimates on the supports, but they still had a level 2 Venom ultimate, the Visage burst damage. Plenty of tools still at Mineski's disposal.
However, Paparazzi is going to get a trade here though for his team. So I think still acceptable losses here for Vici. Tide didn't blow his Ravage. So, and they held the tier 2. So it's essentially 1-for-1 tower. Tier 1 for tier 1. And they expanded the Disruptor ultimate. So Vici is going to try to make a fight here.
Yeah, Fenrir's come out from the side, perhaps a bit too early. He had the wall, but he did not see all the heroes. He gives away his life just to get off a Nightmare. Now Paparazzi's in, trying to find the support. Knows there's no Disruptor ultimate, but does not have the necessary backup. Okay, that's a big glip. He's still got a little bit of mana, but he's going to have to deny himself. Goes down, and that's the big kill you were talking about. They may not get the credit for it, but they do break the Bloodstone charges.
Yeah. The important thing is lowering the charges, otherwise Storm will snowball out of control. The ward there. Vision again, Parker wins games.
Yep.
Big pickoff.
Both teams had the vision, but Fenrir just not quite enough vision. I believe he thought heroes were TPing out. When you go for a Nightmare like that, he ran into 4 heroes.
I don't think he minded dying there. He just wanted to start the fight.
Yeah. He got a Nightmare off on 1 hero, but then got surrounded, and the entire Vici team could not get there in time to make anything of the Nightmare.
They felt they were stronger there. That's why he just ran in. I don't think he cared about dying. He just wanted to make sure the fight started.
Yep.
So, good sequence of events here for Mineski. Next objective should be, I think, trying to get one big item up on the Visage.
The Ag Scepter being the...
Yeah, probably I think his biggest item right now should be, should be the Axe, I guess.
Yeah.
Solo won't even be too bad because there are a lot of physical damage from the Vici side. The Slada minus armor.
He changes his item, he's got a mech queued up all of a sudden, so we'll see where he ends up going with this.
Greaves is pretty good this game because of the Slada.
Yep.
Good for your team.
You're in science now, he's got a hood queued up. Nice, making us think about life.
I think pretty much right now they have to itemize to be able to team fight and clash, because basically if they speed up, it's bad because of the Storm. The Storm will pick them off. So they want to play together, use the Venom, use the Disruptor ultimate before they have their BKBs and keep fighting. So I think this item is pretty good. As long as he builds a team item, I would say it's pretty good for them overall.
Yep.
Clockwork should always do that with the Disruptor. They have to go on the same guy. They need to go on the same guy, kill one guy. They shouldn't try to be too greedy. Oh, you catch this guy, I'm going on the Bane, the Slada.
Especially
then no one dies, you know?
Yeah, they're also the support, so using your ultimates, 2 ultimates on 1 hero is fine because you still have Visage, Veno, Tinker.
And it's
the
kind of
damage
like
comes from these heroes.
Low cooldown spells too, you know? It's not like I'm using a Doom to kill a support or something like that.
Correct.
You know? So they're going to go force the tower again, force the issue again.
You want to fight around your vision.
They feel
I've heard
stronger.
Today that vision wins games, so they want to fight around it.
Wow, Parker, you're a quick learner.
Yeah. I listen to you, Winter.
Wow, thanks for listening to me. Thanks for caring about my opinion.
Yeah. And Mineski, they switch it up. They show bottom, but then they immediately TP around Roshan.
Yep.
I think anticipating a Vici Gaming sneak.
Slada, DP.
They
very
tower
fast
too.
rush. Yeah, very fast rush. They used the feminist to secure the Roshan. I think overall good movement there by Mineski, and Vici also, they had the right idea because they can't fight, they can't defend the tower, so they try to look for something else, exchange a Roche, or get some farm on the other side of the map. So right now Mineski smokes up. Not sure if Vici knows. They are moving towards the bottom to play around their ward.
I think they know Mineski are done with bottom lane because they just got the 2 towers. There's not much reason for Mineski to stay there.
I mean, the next key thing is whether Mineski can take the other towers and get Roshan. If they can actually get Roshan, because they're up against like a heavy team fight. Tide, DP. So if you can have an Aegis, let's say on one of your important heroes like the Visage or the Venom, you run in, you force them to use their big spells on you, and then you come back alive and you take the fight.
Yeah. It was looking good for Vici for a while, though, winning fights. What's kind of stopped them and slowed them down? Because it feels like they're avoiding fights now. They haven't been able to do too much.
They can't fight now because Mineski is stronger. They won the previous fights because sort of Mineski screwed up their... Like, they made mistakes. They were doing the wrong things. That's why they lost the fights. They were supposed to be strong at that stage. Oh, Mushi?
Yeah, he TP'd into a lot of enemy heroes here. Gets crushed up here. Are they going to go for a Ravage? It looks like he's in just a good enough position to...
Oh, hookshot, glimpse.
Oh, here's the ultimate, the Static Storm. No Ravage for you. Tide Hunter trapped inside this one. Will he get a chance to get it off? Does have a second to maybe try for it, but the birds stun him up. And now the Clockwork with the hookshot on LAN almost finds a second kill. Mineski looking very good here when it comes to team fights, just preventing Tide fight after fight from getting off any kind of an ultimate.
And the double minus paying off right now.
Absolutely. Visage has that experience talent as well. He's going to get a very fast level 3 ultimate at this rate, which is where those birds get very scary.
I mean, it's always like a kind of like scary when you get the double Midas and you're still, you're still fighting and you think that we can still win the clashes with the Midas. That's how it actually increases your lead by so much.
Sure. I mean, right now it's a 4K gold lead. Well, those 2 Midases cost them 4,000. So when they're fighting, they don't really fight with a gold lead. Those Midases don't exactly give either of these heroes any damage output.
And Tinker is so close to his Aghanims. That's going to be another power spike for them. Vici still has to wait for... I think they need to wait for BKBs. They need the BKB on Storm. He is actually pretty close, 200 gold.
Yep, despite the
they need
fast Bloodstone, Paparazzi
BKB
is...
Actually on both of them, I think both of the cost need BKB. There's too much magic damage.
Yep, and Death Prophet and Storm both have it queued up and are both pretty close to finishing it, so these fights will definitely change a lot with those pickups, because Veno has started to itemize a bit towards physical damage, but is still not quite at that point just yet. The level 20 talent is perhaps where it's going to really start to kick in, but it is largely magic damage. The Veno ulti, the Tinker, spells like Static Storm.
Yeah, pretty much when they see the BKBs, they have to be very careful of taking fights. But lucky for them with their lineup, they can just keep splitting the map. They are going to run the risk of getting caught by Storm, but after the BKBs come out, they have to be very careful with picking their fights. Really,
do you think this is an Axe game for Tinker? It is like the standard pickup, but normally you see that against more standard Illusion Heroes, standard carries. He's against a Storm, a Death Prophet. Does he still go for the Axe?
It's still pretty good damage for the whole team though.
Ice is getting very low from this Roshan. Looks like Mineski are going to perhaps give this one up. Paparazzi goes in. There's the BKB. The Static Storm wasted as well because of this, and he's going to get the kill on the Visage. The hook shot not going to help out there. Roshan, Mushi stuck inside. He's surrounded by 3 heroes. Gets off the ultimate. Is going to be able to get a kill on the Bane, but pays for it with his life. And Mineski perhaps throwing away their lead with a poor decision to go for Roche. Roshan goes down, snatched by the Storm Spirit, and Aegis going his way. That is a disaster for Mineski. Ori's still alive as well. Has a shrine if he needs it. He's going to wait for his team.
Oh my god, that was... They didn't know that the Storm had BKB. And on top of that, Visage was like, Ice was so low because of the Roshan.
That's...
Big mistake there by Mineski. Got overconfident there.
The big thing there is...
And they had no ward, right? They didn't see them. I'm not sure if they even smoked.
I don't know how... The Storm just somehow found them. Perhaps that mid-ward caught a slight bit of vision of them, but... I think where Visage really struggles there is he was tanking Roshan, and Gravekeeper's Cloak does not help you against Roche. So suddenly Visage is looking at like a couple hundred damage per right click from that Roshan.
So pretty much they used the Tide and the DP ulti, in that fight? Yeah.
Yes, both ultimates used.
Can Mineski actually find something now? Even with the Aegis, I think they should try to maybe find a fight. Not sure how, I don't think they have smokes. No smokes available. They're going to be quite difficult, but they're still stronger now. I think they should still fight. If they don't fight now, it means in 1 minute and 1.5 minutes, they're not going to fight against the Aegis and the double ultimates.
Yeah.
Oh, Tinker's trouble.
Yeah. Been gone on. Can he find a way to blink out the clockwork? Could perhaps save the day, and actually Young 11 in some trouble here. Tinker's going to turn around and start throwing spells as 11 gets brought down. Tinker's regen rune kicking in now as well. As Mushi getting jumped while that all goes on. He's been left alone in this mid lane. Does have the familiars. Misses the first one on the Storm. Gets the second one though. Mushi now gripped up, has no escape. Mineski's defense in the top lane leads to him getting stranded, and a follow-up pick-off. 1 turns into 2 as Vici Gaming punish Mineski's over-aggression.
Oh, the sleep. But yet again, like Mineski's movement, not so smooth. They TP top to help the Tinker, but when that was happening, the Venom should be like building already. Because they sent like 2 important heroes top to help the Tinker, and there's no business for the Venom to stay mid anymore. He pretty much had no backup back then, except for Tinker TPing in. So not sure what was the plan there for him to stay. Maybe he thought that they didn't have enough firepower to take him down. Not sure. But that was a really costly death there for Mushi. He needs to be really strong this game because of the BKBs. Everyone else is like mostly magical. Yep. And he's like the main physical damage dealer. So if he dies in the fights all the time. Like sometimes you talk about banner, you're like, oh, it's okay if I die, I do my job. But in this kind of game where the banner has to scale as a carry, frag taker, you don't want to die in the fights, you know?
Does the game start looking better for Mineski, like when those BKBs start getting down to like 5 seconds?
For sure. But it's gonna be a while, dude.
Sure.
That's gonna be like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes before he actually gets to the point where both the BKBs are 5 seconds.
Yeah. The next couple team fights are going to be very rough dealing with
very hard.
Prophet.
They have to pick their fights very wisely, very wisely. Research is going into like full tank mode, and he should only be the one like taking the fire, like getting focused. Everyone else should be very careful. The Tinker and the Banner has to be very careful about their positioning.
Well, we'll see if Vici Gaming can connect with their movement through the Radiant jungle. They're perhaps just going to set themselves up for this bottom tier 2 tower, but also hoping to catch a stray hero as they do loop around this bottom lane. Not much Mineski can do to defend the tier 2. Question is, will they look to go for the high ground? They've got the Death Prophet ultimate. They still have an Aegis on Storm Spirit as well as an Arcane Rune. This is a very dangerous time for Mineski to take a fight.
Aegis is running out soon, I think. Is it?
Backing off, it looks like. Slider goes mid.
They should wait for the Aegis to run out before deciding what to do. Tinker's going... he's going for a Hex. I guess this is just mostly for the Storm. Yeah, I guess it's okay. The Hex will give them like a reliable way of locking in down, since the other ways are not really good right now.
Bratzy scouted by the Familiars.
Oh, glimpse. Can I get a glimpse?
Hey, wants to go in on the Venomancer here. The Mantis gets him out of the Orchid though.
Oh, he wasn't able to get a glimpse. Oh, he gets a glimpse.
Did not push 11 very far back though. Not the glimpse Ninja Boogie was looking for.
Aegis is ending. Yeah, it's very soon ending.
Yep. Mineski doing a good job to avoid fights while they've got the Aegis. There are still big ultimates on the Titan Death Prophet to worry about though, so not sure how gung-ho Mineski are going to be about fighting even when the Aegis is down.
Let's see on the other heroes of Vici, what are they going to finish up? Tide's going to finish a crucial item. He's going to have a mech fairly soon. That's going to help a lot. Bane, nothing really close. Slada pretty much has what he needs, the Blink and the Force. DP is going hard next.
Hard against
Tinker?
yeah.
The usual build.
Particular?
The usual build will be the core, Occurring Core.
Yep.
I guess it's okay against Tinker, but maybe I would still...
Hearts is going to give you more...
Yeah, but I still like the Occurring Core because of the
kinda?
cooldown. Because you're going to play with your ultimate so much and it helps you survive the fights a lot better.
Yeah, you get the spell lifesteal, so in some ways Octarine does give you a ton of survivability. So
but like you said, like Heart gives you the raw HP, so if you get caught, it's harder for them to burst you from there.
Yeah, the burst is less likely. Hasn't committed to anything yet, just has it queued up. As we've seen, these players will queue things up and then deviate.
Players like Ice, right?
Yeah.
One moment he's like, I'm gonna get Radiance. I think I need Pipe. I need Ags.
Veno about to get that level 20, which is a pretty nice boost in his damage output.
Yeah, talking about talents, so who's reaching, apart from Veno, who's reaching like a key talent? How about Vici? Is anyone reaching a key talent?
You tell me, Winter.
I don't think so, yeah, right now. I don't think anyone has like a, oh, that guy reaches to that talent, he's gonna get really strong.
Yeah. The Veno is probably the main hero with a pretty big talent this game.
I guess the Storm 25 could be really game-changing if you have Ags.
Yep. What we've seen most of the Storm start going for over the last few months, and what we've seen
pretty strong, good stats.
Gets Tinker as well.
Mass CC, you know.
Yep. Also good when you're versing Lincolns, which aren't in this game, but it just allows you to not have to worry about that as much.
Tinker might get a Lincolns, maybe. At some point, maybe. It's possible. There's a lot of like single target strong spells, you know.
Gets the Blink, doesn't go for the mech or Greaves just yet. Has now 4 stuff and Blink.
Blink is definitely still really good on a hero because he's been like getting like he realizes every fight, hook shot, Stag Storm, he's most likely dead.
Yep.
Like because you can't force out of the field, you know, the kinetic field. So he can't escape. So he needs a reliable way to get his Ravage out. So let's see, does Mineski have a smoke? They have one smoke.
It feels quite hard for either team to force a fight right now.
I think Vici is still stronger though because of their BKBs. They have what, 9-second BKB on Storm. They have 10-second BKB on DP. Yeah, I think Vici is definitely stronger.
They've got the better teamfight ultimates. Like, you mean, Tide, Death Prophet.
Yep.
But what Mineski perhaps have is that kind of like vision advantage where you've got Rocket Flare,
The Venom.
Plague War. It's very hard to actually initiate with a Blink Dagger
Yeah,
from
I
Slider,
guess-
Tide.
I guess so, that's right.
But
But then again, if they get a good fight, I think it's going to be harder for Mineski to fight.
yeah, of course. It seems like one team has better vision, the other is better team fight. So the team with the vision is using that to not take those team fights.
Yep. I think at some point you're going to want to have like a... I'm not sure if you want to have a I'm thinking about whether the Venom should go BKB as well, right? Because if he... I think if he doesn't have BKB, he's going to get control a lot in the fights too. And then we are talking about how Venom needs to do like physical damage in the fights. Yep. But then again, he has a hood though, so if you get a hood, then you get a BKB. Maybe later, like in the ultra late game. Because I definitely feel like if he doesn't have a BKB, he can't stand and fight. You know, he's gonna get like stunned by the Ravage, gripped by the Bane, or stunned by Slada, pulled by the Storm, and he can't do his damage in the fights.
Yep. Well, we'll see where he looks to go if that BKB is going to be on his mind. But for now, it is Mineski happy to fund. They've got the double Midas going.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, Clockwork doesn't do much in this kind of game, though. Like, Clockwork, even if you give him, like, a lot of fun, I'm not sure how much he can do.
You get a Hex or something, then you can do something. That's a lot of fun.
You say Hex, but I'm thinking of, like, maybe a Lotus, something to help your team.
Sure. Against the Slada, the Bane.
Yeah, Lotus would be quite useful.
And they're going to get a Hex on the Tinker, so I don't think they're in any rush to get a second Hex. It's not like got to that, like, 60, 70-minute stage where you want as many Hexes as possible.
Pretty much, he might also want to consider getting a BKB if he goes long enough. Like Clockwork, because if you hook in against those heroes, you're just going to pretty much die.
Vici Gaming, deep smoke in enemy territory. Get down 2 very good wards.
Yep, they know Roche is going to spawn.
Yeah, they also want to fight.
Good move.
Oh, good move from Mushi. Gets the Plague Ward, scouts out the Slada as well. They have figured out where Vici Gaming are.
Storm is TPing back, so that's going to signal the end of the push here for Vici.
It was definitely a thought in Mineski's head that Vici could have been in that Roche pit.
Okay, so they have the Hex. I think Vici didn't have a vision of this. They're going to do something with the Hex. Smoke maybe? They have a Hex on Tinker. This is going to be a big first move item. If they can Hex the Storm, kill him first, that would be huge.
And the save potential is
okay. Venom has BKB. Venom has BKB.
All right. We'll see what they can do. They smoke up. Venom just going to charge forward again, scouting them out. This Plague Ward vision giving Mineski big edge in these fights.
But still, Vici has really good... Like, they have 3 good wards around the Roche area.
Yep.
The gem on the Visage hasn't really scouted any of them.
Not yet. He, I believe, came through the mid lane and
did
not see
Slada?
Yep. That's a useful kill. He does get hexed up, so they now know about it. At least the Storm perhaps less likely to get caught by this one. The Glimpse back. Hexed up again. They're taking a long time to kill him. They're going to finally bring him down.
Force!
Okay, to the north, it's going to be the Tinker getting chased down by the Storm Spirit. Tinker getting down to about half health. Back in the main fight, 11 has a Ravage. Can't find a chance to use it, though. He's getting hooked up. He's being chainstunned down. Tide is dead. No Ravage for you. And
Tinker's
Tinker
out.
Survives. He's gone off to the east. He juked the hell out of that Storm.
What a play there by Tinker, managing to juke out Paparazzi on the Storm. Well played there by Nana. And does this open the Roshan?
Awesome. You're worried about a buyback from a Tide.
They have a buyback and Ravage, so...
Yeah, that is the big threat.
But Storm has to heal, so he's healing. He's coming back. This is still a bit tricky though. It's not the fastest road.
Last Roche did not go well for Mineski. This one looks to be going a bit better. No sign of a contest just yet from Vici, who look to have decided to give this one up.
That fight was all the Hex on the Tinker. They were caught by surprise. They have no idea that the Tinker has a Hex, so... Mineski claims the second important Roshan of the game. And with the Hex pickup, I think Vici's going to be figuring out maybe we're going to need a Lotus to help.
The Storm does get a Linken's for now, so can't get insta.
I mean, you might still want to consider Lotus on one of the supports, or maybe even the Tide. Tide is going for... Wow, he's going for BKB.
Sick of getting static stormed, hook-shotted, trapped in cogs. He's getting controlled so heavily in these fights.
I don't know. I guess he feels like he really needs it though. Like, BKB on Tide is generally not something that you want to see. Yep. So Ice finds the ward. They got it. They're gonna push right now, but right with the Aegis, and who has the cheese?
The Clockwork.
Clockwork has the cheese. I don't know. I think Vici is it's still possible for Vici to win a fight here if they get a big Ravage. Mineski with the Aegis and cheese, they still need to be really cautious about their positioning. Only the banner in front with the wards and maybe the Visage in between. And the Glimpse.
Doesn't pull him too much
Oh,
further
bot
out.
lane. Tinker might be in trouble here. Let's see if Storm finds him.
Oh, I believe he saw that ball lightning. Tinker goes north. Can he get another blink away? He's going further north in Storm.
Oh my god, space.
Guess is wrong.
Space
Nana
created.
is not only out, but he's clearing another wave. He says, hey Storm, I'm actually up here. Come and get me.
They're gonna need like some anti-Tinker wards, like the cliff wards around. Because the rest of the heroes, they don't have like a spell to like give vision on the trees. So it's gonna be hard for the Storm to guess. So far he's guessed wrong both times. The top fight, which was really, really crucial, that didn't kill the Tinker, and now he didn't kill the Tinker again. He couldn't find him. So next round of items coming up. Ice is finishing. He already finished his Greaves.
Getting a pipe now.
And the pipe is almost done. So this is gonna like super charge his team fights, his team's team fight potential.
Yep.
And for Vichi's side, their team fight items. Let's see. Bane, Glimmer's gonna help a bit. Slada's also getting a Glimmer, or they're getting double Glimmer. Yeah. So like I said, the Tide changed his mind. He's going for Lotus. I really don't think the BKB is really good. Lotus would mean that they have some way of saving the guy that's getting focused by a Tinker. Very important item against Tinker late game. You can't afford to let the Tinker just like perma ship your, like, say your Storm. Like then the fight is like pretty much over. You need to have a way to save him. And DP is going, I guess, he went Octarine, so not the hard.
Yeah, more,
See?
more
Parker?
standard. You know, you
Octarine is better, you know.
Yeah, Ori agrees. I agree, Winter. I've got your back.
No,
He was just baiting you.
You
with
were
the
like
heart.
hesitating just now. You're like, yeah,
Nah,
Heart's good against Tinker. I guess it's okay. You're like,
I believed in the Octarine.
I don't believe you, Parker.
That's the wrong spirit to have, Winter. You're my co-cast. You're gonna have my back on everything. Not the case.
It's good to have
Debatable.
different opinions. That's what you said yesterday.
Sure.
It's good to disagree.
Okay.
You know what's not good? Disagreeing with your wife. Never do that. I got in trouble.
Duly noted.
And I lost.
There's no wing. You're teaching the viewers out here a lot of lessons about life, but as well as Dota. But
Yep, in some ways, your teammates are your life partners.
we've seen team relationships make or break teams. Definitely some of the most successful teams have always had those strong bonds with their teammates.
Yep, so I think the next item that could change the tide of the game is the Aghanims on Disruptor. If he's somehow able to get it. He's actually not far.
Yeah,
1k.
gold.
1k away.
It's the anti-BKB item. And even...
Oh, the tower's almost... They're gonna do a lot of damage to the tower here.
And Mineski going to force this. Mushi has got that level 25, so...
He got the wards, right? Yeah.
I can only imagine, given their position sieging here, Poison Sting slow against Death Providence Storm is not going to offer a whole lot.
Only good against like a mass melee lineup.
Yep.
Maybe.
They're getting this tower, someone uncontested, very hard to just go in against all this magic
they might see Paparazzi if he moves forward. There's like wards behind there. Oh, they're gonna see him?
We balls in from afar. The Tinker actually blinked forward though. The Tinker is somehow juking him.
This guy has the Aegis.
Yeah.
Hook
shot. Not going to get the catches. He does get glimpsed away from it.
They got the tower.
Like
they got the tower.
Tower down. They can fall back, take shrines, but I imagine they may want to go for the racks here.
Not so sure though. Still like the safer play would be shrine, control the map, deward, and maybe wait for a better opportunity. If the opportunity doesn't come, then wait for the next Roshan, control them. They have the gem. They have the catch. They have map control right now. And Vici is the team that feel like, oh crap, we need to play together.
And their Aegis was expiring.
Yes. There's no reason to risk, and now Tinker has the BKB. You need this item against Storm late game.
Vici going for it. They know the Aegis just expired. They want to get a jump here, and they're going to see Mushi blink.
Oh,
he doesn't get the crush.
BKB.
Oh, LAN M slightly off with the blink. The initiation for Vici Gaming perhaps going to cost him. The Sorg trying to ball in. Ty gets a Ravage off, not too shabby.
BKB on Tinker.
Tinker with the BKB is just going to survive his way through this. He's waiting for the Storm BKB to end so he can hex him. For now, it's Ori getting the Spirit Siphons out, staying alive a little bit longer. Young 11 getting taken out by the Soul Assumptions, going two directions here. Ice doing tons of damage in these fights. Tinker's back. He's got the hex. Paparazzi has to be careful. Can't afford to go down. The Lincoln Sphere helping block some of these spells, but Ori still alive. He's actually fighting the Tinker. Almost brings him down with him, but it is going to be Mineski coming out on top. BKB's used a plenty on both sides, and it was Mineski.
That was the BKB on Tinker again. First, it was the Hex on Moon that caught them by surprise, and now his BKB caught the Storm by surprise. I don't think the Storm would have tried to jump him if he knew he had BKB. And he wasted so much mana, you know, like trying to kill the Tinker, and he couldn't really help his team. So that's gonna spell like, can they get 2 sets of Rex here? They have 2 buybacks, but no Ravage and no DP ulti, like Exorcism.
They need to make sure they get that top melee. There we go. Mushi's wards being
Come on, dude, it's a level 25 Plague Ward, triple Plague Ward.
They were hitting creeps, bro.
Who are you kidding, man? It's gonna get the Rex, no worries. Relax.
We've seen earlier in this tournament and today as well, Vici Gaming's initiation has sometimes been a bit questionable. LAN as well as 11 have not had a good tournament, and it was LAN there missing the Blink Crush. This time he's going to get it. Finds Mushi. Mushi in the front line's very tanky with the grip going there as well. Looks like he may go down. He gets the cheese off just in time. They couldn't lock him down enough. He's still alive. Fenrir brought down by the Tinker laser from the low ground here. Tinker goes in, getting laser onto 3 heroes. 11 gets flipped back in. It's looking disastrous for Vici Gaming as a second lane goes down. Could be it for game 1 for the Chinese squad. A 20k plus gold lead. And Mineski are not finished having their way with Vici Gaming's base. They want that third lane of Rax. They want the mega creeps. They know there's no Ravage, no Tide for 50 seconds. In goes the Death Prop with an Exorcism, but it's already a kill going Mineski's way. Tinker getting pulled in by the Storm, but he's got a BKB. He's going to be kept alive. Ori's in the middle of 5 heroes here. This surely does not end well for him. Here's the Hex. The burst damage is going to start coming out now as well. Mega kill streak for Ice, and Paparazzi will get the kill on Tinker, but pays for it with his life and with the game.
MVP of this game, Nana on the Tinker. Didn't get caught at all in the game by the Storm. Made so many plays.
So well
and his Hex and BKB definitely won them very, very key fights. He's definitely, for me, the MVP of this game.
It wasn't a flawless victory for Mineski.
Yeah.
Still some things to work on.
A lot of, like, I think being not on the same page in the early game when they needed some time for the Disruptor and the Clock to get their level 6, I think they were like kind of unsure of what to do, how to create a situation for the Disruptor and the Clock to get their level 6, and they were like forcing the top lane too much against a Ravage. They were trying to kill a Tide.
Yeah,
and they were diving the towers. There was like, oh, what's happening? I mean, I'm sure they knew that they had to do something, but they were overcommitting for it. They needed
also,
to just,
like, they know they've got this Tinker farming who's there. The Tinker's the key hero. More than the Venom, the Visage, those are the heroes trying to create space for Tinker. So
all they had to do was, they had the right idea, force the enemy to move top and then back off. They need to back off after that.
Not back forward.
Yeah.
Instead of just chipping the tower from safe distance, they went under, you know, a little over-aggressive. But that is the SCA Dota way. Aggression, aggression, aggression. We're going to fight. We're going to take it to the enemy, and it worked for Mineski in game 1 against Vici.
Well, they almost lost.
Yeah, no.
You know, sometimes a few moments there.
Vici Gaming, though. Shaky tournament for them. They had a great run in all the Chinese qualifiers for a couple of weeks. What's happening to them? Where do they need to improve?
I think mostly it's like the draft. Like they're changing a lot of heroes, but they're still like picking a lot of like maybe a little bit too much of team fight in some ways. And this game they tried to deviate. They had like a safe lane DP just because they wanted to pick a Storm, you know.
Well, they couldn't deal with the Tinker in the end, so it's definitely a downside to their draft, and also put them in a weird place with a safe lane, Death Prophet, Storm in the mid. So we'll see what happens in games 2. Vici Gaming, 1 game away from elimination here at Star Ladder I-League Invitational.
Scary times indeed for Vici Gaming as they fall short against Mineski here in this first game of the lower bracket of Group A. Here with Fogged and OD Pixel, gentlemen. It was a very back and forth game. Started very even. Actually, I would say it started in favor of Vici Gaming, Fogged.
Yeah, I think Fenrir's Bane is something he's been playing a lot. We've seen in a lot of the qualifiers. He's been doing a really good job of like securing the mid lane for his team, but then it was just so commanding. Look, the damage that Mineski had on their lineup, that's what we were looking at. The Venomancer with Tinker and Visage, you're always going to have full soul assumption charges, and you can do a pretty good job of defending your Tinker because you have such a vision advantage coming out from them. I just felt like their draft was a little bit more well-rounded, while Vici's was very heavy committed on that team fight. They need their Ravage up, they need their Death Prophet to take those fights. And we kind of saw them making their way a little bit back in when they got that Aegis snatch from Paparazzi, but I think it's so tough to play into what Mineski had if they can get online. And we mentioned Mineski wants to take it to those later stages of the game, and they itemized for that. They went the double Midas, they went Clockwork Midas, they went Visage Midas. They just bought the time to be able to really succeed in that.
Yeah, they got the time, Owen. Before the game started, we talked a lot about 11, about his games on Thursday in the group stage that weren't really up to the standard that we hold him to. You feel like he did better? It was a rough tied game to begin with.
Yeah, there was still, for me at least, there were questionable situations where 11 would sort of run in and die. One of them that does kind of draw to memory was the one where they sort of were going up against Mineski's Shrine. He didn't really have Ravage, he just sort of runs up and then he dies on the front lines. But no, it was definitely a better performance from him than yesterday. And you know, if we can sort of increase from what was from yesterday to game 1, and then you can do sort of the same increase to game 2, then maybe it's a better position. But it was a tough game for him, sort of as Fog said. Off the bat, you're going to be in a lane against this Venomancer. Can't get rid of that Gale with the Kraken Shout. And we saw exactly that in the lane. He was, you know, bullied pretty severely. You know, each and every time they wanted to go in for a kill, Mineski and the boys Mushi with the Gale. They got it a few, and it just became very, very hard for him to play.
Paparazzi got forced to get a second item BKB as well. That's usually one of the big tickers as a Storm. Even when you're playing against very little disable, he like felt like he needed it, and it starts ticking down lower and lower. The fights become extremely difficult, losing his Bloodstone charges very early on with that one of those deaths.
He won that mid matchup though.
He did win that mid matchup pretty hard.
Quite convincingly as well.
I mean, it's always good to see Paparazzi back in the mid lane. You know, going back to DAC when we saw this man, he knows how to play his mid heroes in Storm, arguably one of his best.
Yeah, he did finally go down in 5 minutes, but at this point he's already very far ahead.
Yeah, I did like the difference though. We saw a completely different Mineski coming this game in my opinion. Yeah. You mentioned it too, Shiva, while we were watching the game. They did not focus on ice at all. They pretty much sacked him up in that top lane. They really wanted to make sure Mushi had a good game. They wanted to make sure Nana had a great game, and they did. I mean, Mushi played incredibly well this game. So happy to see him playing something other than Medusa. He crushed it this time as the Veno. Yeah. Had a clutch cheese usage at the end of the fight, at the end of the game, which we'll probably see in the highlights. He just played it infinitely better than I've seen him in the recent past in playing that Medusa.
Yeah, I hope they stick with that Mineski though, because I mean, who would have thought it that in this patch, Venomancer is kind of a lot better than Medusa. You know, finally they joined the rest of the world finding that out, Mineski. Yeah. But yeah, once they do pull it out, Mushi did have a great game. The amount of damage he did was ridiculous.
I felt like Ori kind of struggled in this game as the Death Prophet as well. You know, it's a bit of an awkward one because he's, you know, they have a safe lane Death Prophet and a mid lane Storm. They don't have like that true carry hero.
Yeah, because was it really Ori, or was it more like the situation he was put in?
I think it was just the situation he's put in. It's just tough for him to like walk into the fights. We mentioned how much damage Mineski has, and they have just a great way to start the fight with the clockwork. Every single time, I would see either someone would get glimpsed that we talked about, someone would get glimpsed back, and then the clockwork would cook in the backlines and completely disrupt everything that was going on in Vici's ideas of the team fights.
Yeah, I mean, as you touched upon earlier about the vision that the Mineski had, it was just fantastic for their sort of heroes, having these rocket flares, these plague wards, the familiars, just setting up the vision for obviously eventually the Aghanim's Tinker to go ham in the fights, and for those glimpse opportunities. It's just a really well-rounded draft from Mineski. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they played these fights perfectly. Obviously, as we saw there were some great bits for Vici Gaming, like around that Roche pit where that great play was made, but overall, yeah, it's always going to get to this point. The later it goes, as we said from the draft, you've got this Tinker. He knows what he's doing at this stage of the game.
This is the cheese, I'm pretty sure here, ready?
Yeah.
Instantly full healed when he's very low, and this completely turns the entire fight around. Yeah. But I really loved Nana's item builds. Actually, from everybody on the side of Mineski, they went for this hood, and I think they also had a pipe as well on their heroes.
Nana even got a BKB towards the end.
Yeah, and then a BKB on the Tinker.
That's like was clutch.
The big item you need versus a Storm Spirit. It's like Storm can catch Tinker. Until that BKB comes online, you just get pushed out. And yeah, it's just overwhelming damage coming out from Mineski's lineup. We saw the damage statistics. They had 110,000 damage compared to the 40,000 of Vici. That's pretty absurd of a difference.
Yeah, so Nana, the MVP, I mean, yes, he struggled in the lane earlier on, but he made up for that later.
Yeah, it doesn't show at all. I mean,
does
look
not.
At this
87%
He only died once as well.
Yeah, he did a miraculous job this game on the Tinker.
Yeah, well-deserved MVP. It was a team effort, of course. I would say this is, like, we talked a lot about, you know, this patch being about drafts and all that, but this wasn't per se an out-draft. I felt like Mineski just played real well as well. Would you agree?
I think for me the draft was really good. Like I think it definitely was. I mean, we sort of said from the start, you know, running Death Prophet and Storm Spirit, that's always going to be something a little different, having them on the same team. Yeah. And you sort of ask questions whether it's going to work. We've seen Vici Gaming do stuff where we've questioned before, and it has worked. So that's why we're sort of like, well, maybe they've got a plan. But this time around, yeah, just the fact that you look at Mineski's lineup and you say this, it sort of makes sense, and a lot of people would look to Vici's with confusion.
Yeah, Mineski has those really strong scaling heroes. Storm
Yeah.
can be, but he had to be the one that got involved in all the fights. They had to bring him in every single time. So I feel like they had to bring Paparazzi in the fights all the time. They had to commit Ravage in all the fights, and they had to commit the Death Prophet ultimate.
Yeah.
So then who are they making space for in the game? It's like nobody's really eating that space that they're making to try to use with those fights. No big carry hero like an anti-mage, like a Venomancer even, something like that.
Yeah, and kind of going back to, you say, those two big duration cooldowns on the ultimates, that's sort of looking back at the Chinese scene as a whole, where those sort of heroes, they are fine because of the way that the Chinese play. They sort of give the time and the space that you can work around these big ultimates. But you come to any other sort of region in the world, especially like a team like Mineski from SCA, and you're just not going to get the opportunity to sort of have that controlled environment that a lot of the Chinese teams, do like to play in. And back on their home turf, they find a lot of their matchups where they're able to sort of pick these heroes. It's not going to work on an international stage.
Well, maybe they can find a better flow in the next game. Game 2 is right around the corner, but before that, we're going to take a short break, so we'll be right back.